What's up, assholes? We're out here in the Aosta Valley, just down the street from the Thuile. I'm going to be spectating and covering that event this weekend, but in this video, I think it's worth catching up on the last couple weekends of racing, including Jackson Goldstone's bike setup. We had Forecross at Val de Sol that also exposed a just difference in spectating and heckling culture that I want to get into.
And then I also did some post-race interviews at Val de Fassa, which were kind of interesting. And then there's a few videos out there that I want to highlight right now too.
So the first thing I wanted to cover is Jackson Goldstone's bike setup. He's waxed everyone at the last 3 races. He's on a run. His technique and his weight has gotten a lot of attention. But in my opinion, his bike setup is a big part of what is allowing him to ride in the style he has to win the last 3 World Cups. That bike just seems to check all the boxes. And I think there's 3 main boxes that even me personally, I'm trying to check with my bike setups. That's to be balanced in between the wheels. That's something I spend a lot of time talking about. Being able to weight both wheels adequately and not having to compensate to get your weight over one end or the other. Then you want it to be stable enough, confidence inspiring, especially on the terrain that the World Cup guys are riding. And then you also need it to be maneuverable. You know, being able to turn is really nice on a mountain bike, and being able to do that in shorter, tighter spaces definitely helps. With Jackson's height, I feel like he's able to accomplish all those things in a package that is ultimately still very manageable on the trail. The V10 he's running it in the long chainstay mode, which I believe is a 455 mil chainstay on a size medium, and it puts his wheelbase at 1275, which I think is a really nice number. And that puts the front to rear center ratio at 1.8, and that's just a representation that for his height in that wheelbase, he's super centered in between the wheels. And then also, he's not running his bars super high, you know, relative to some of the taller riders, but I think for his height, they're in quite a high position. And you see him stood on the bike, and it's like he doesn't have to like reach down for the bars. He's in almost this like Sam Hill-esque, very stable riding position, and he almost doesn't need to move from it. You watch his runs, and he's not like doing super big hip hinges and getting forward on the bike. He kind of just stands there and just hops his way down the track. So he has something that's balanced. He can weight both wheels adequately. It's confidence inspiring because the front end's all high and it's a large enough wheelbase for his height. But given that he's not super tall, he's still able to accomplish that in a medium-sized bike with a wheelbase of 1275, which allows him to pick spots on the track and get traction and turn in smaller areas. And he did that at the bottom of Val de Sol. If you watch Ben Catherow's recap, hit this pocket that was like super loose and precise and was able to turn out of it, get set up, let off the brakes, and absolutely rally that last section. You know, even with that long chainstay in a size medium, Jackson doesn't seem to have any issue throwing that thing around, jumping. Like, his style is very like hop-like, and he's able to accomplish that in that package. And if you compare that to like Loic Bruni, Troy Brosnan, who I believe are kind of similar heights even, I see a lot of riders, they have a bit more of a forward bias weight setup. You can see that they ride way more over the front, and I think that works. You just have to be stronger, and it's a lot less forgiving. Like, everyone is talking about how efficient Jackson is on the bike. I think he's able to do that because you look at his riding position and he's riding through his feet mostly. He's really loose with his upper body, and his style and his skill deserves a lot of credit for how he's riding, but I think the bike complements his style and allows him to ride in a way that's super efficient, and he's not having to do these like massive big press-ups on the bike. And I just think looking at the competition, a lot of the bikes are a little bit more forward biased, and and I honestly think him being a little bit smaller is an advantage for just the packaging of all the things you want to accomplish with the bike. For me, at 6'1", to have those same sensations of being centered in the wheels and having as much confidence in the wheelbase of the bike, and it being balanced with a long chainstay for the wheelbase, I would probably be on like a 1300 plus wheelbase, you know, to race downhill on. And you can make it work, but if you have those same feelings in a shorter wheelbase, I think that is an advantage. So, I don't know, bit of a ramble, but that's my take on Jackson. His bike setup is a big part of why he's doing well. But Forecross happened at Val di Sole. This is a bit late on this. I have a bunch of footage from the race that I haven't released yet. I'll play that now. And it was sick to watch. There was a bunch of carnage, a bunch of takeouts, and I feel like now is the time for Forecross, because we have the majority of the downhill field not qualifying on the weekend. So what better way to redeem your weekend than having a Forecross race to get all your energy and sadness out and go take some people out? I think it could be so sick, and the Val di Sole race was an example of that. And you know, that course was like, it's a huge build. It's like a big BMX style supercross Forecross track, and it's sick. But I just think the threshold can be a lot lower for the builds of these tracks and still have them be super entertaining. I even feel like that Val di Sole track was almost a little too fast and wide open. Like, it can be smaller, tighter, weirder, more technical. I mean, obviously we want it to be like professional and look good, but I think this is an opportunity for Warner Brothers to redeem themselves. You know, a lot of the changes they've made haven't sat well with the whole downhill field. You know, it's to be seen on a lot of them, but if they just brought back Forecross, you know, I think it would forgive all their sins and it would be a huge dub. And it's like, I think they're trying to, like, I see it on their social media, they're trying to like milk these dramatic moments, and like, I think they're putting effort into the media side of things, but like, what more would you want than like some of the top pros like taking each other out? And I feel like there's way more storyline and drama to be had in that series, and ultimately, like, that's the stuff that really starts getting people engaged with the sport. Is like, yeah, if there's takeouts and drama and like head-to-head racing. So this is just my plea for someone to organize Forecross and get coverage for it, because I think it absolutely has legs, and it would be a great complement to the downhill events that we've already have all these athletes going to anyway. But at the Forecross event, one thing that got on my freaking nerves were these damn chainsaws. So coming to Europe, I always thought like, oh, the spectating scene is so sick. Like, they're going crazy with chainsaws and flares and shit. And I kind of like was into it a little bit, but then it just became apparent to me that all the chainsaw people do not give a shit about the bike racing. They're trying to be the center of attention. And in the downhill race at Leogang and Val di Sole, there were some chainsaw people, but on the downhill, they were like a little bit more engaged with the downhill racing a little bit. But it just pissed me off because, dude, these chainsaws were so fucking loud, like obnoxiously loud. Like, I felt like I was getting hearing damage just trying to like be in a good spot to film. And not any of the obnoxious chainsaw people were actually watching the race. Like, if you were doing that for the riders, like, it would be forgivable. It would still be obnoxious. Like, you know, it's like cool to make noise, but these are like, they have like exhaust on the chainsaws that make them like the most obnoxious, loud, annoying sound ever. And yeah, it's just like a bunch of drunk 16-year-olds like smoking cigarettes, and like it's not actually there to like support the bike racing. So I don't know, that kind of like rubbed me the wrong way. And one thing that doesn't really happen out here that much is like actual heckling. Heckling is a big part of the bike racing culture in the US, like at least in the racing scenes I've been a part of in California and the Pacific Northwest. Like, if you go to an End-Up Cup, you are liable to get some mean shit said at you. But and it's all in good spirit, but I don't know. I just noticed like the European spectating is more about like noise making. which is cool, but it can be it's like kind of obnoxious when it becomes the center of attention. And there's not as much heckling, so I don't know. I'm here for the Thuile World Cups, and I don't know. It's kind of fun just to say some stupid shit to the riders, so we'll see if I can have some fun and not get myself canceled. Val d'Isole standout result was Dylan Maples, Team NorCal, kids from like outside of Sacramento. Going back to the argument of having sick riding is like inversely correlated to having good riders. Dylan is from like a spot in suburbia that has almost no mountains. Like if you looked at it on Google Earth, you couldn't even like really place like where mountain bike trails would be. Stoked to see Dylan with his best result ever, like stepping up with Amaury hurt as well. And he's always killed it at Val d'Isole. The kid is built tough. Switching over to Enduro. Big fan of you doing good, man.
Thank you.
You're looking good out there. If you could describe it, like what is your race mindset? Like what kind of area do you try and get into?
Just try and like get myself like gassed up and then calm myself down. Like pretty much try and like go a little bit too quick out of the starts and then ease into it.
Okay.
And that seems to be good, but mindset wise, I don't know, just try and like just focus on my own riding, I suppose, and trying to carry good speed, and yeah, just I think trying to recover as well is like a big thing.
Because on track it looks like you ride super in the moment.
Yeah.
And you're flowing like really good, and it looks you're just super efficient. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like I'm probably not as fit as some of the other guys, so I feel like I have to be efficient.
Yeah, play to your strengths.
Yeah.
But a bit of a penalty on the flat, but some stage wins. So
yeah.
Overall, like, how do you feel on the weekend?
Yeah, real good. Yeah, obviously like not ideal, but like still after yesterday I was just felt real good in the morning and was like leading, and then got the penalty and I was like pretty much went from first to last, and then last night I was just looking at all the times and stuff and saw I was like, to get points for the overall I had to make up like 2 minutes 20 or something.
Oh no.
And I was just like, let's get to it. So had a crack at it, and then just every stage I was just getting closer and closer, and then found out I was like 3 seconds off making the top 100 top of that one, so I just went for it.
And did you get into the
I think I ended up in like 90th or something in the end, but I dropped my chain on that stage, so I had to like run up the hill.
Oh, I saw you pushing.
Pump all the way to the finish, and I was just like,
oh no. But you made it work.
It seemed like a fitting way to end like a tough weekend. Just like finish line. So
sweet, dude.
Pretty stoked, pretty keen for next week.
Dude, let me hop on that thing. I want to know what it feels like.
I love it, bro. It is so sick. Middle right now, but like
it feels.
It's pretty fast.
That feels good.
Yeah, it is. And when you're going downhill, it is so sick, bro.
So the last thing I wanted to touch on is Marco Osborne released an edit with transition. That is one of my favorite videos that's been released in a long time. There's some good shenanigans. They have some good filming with a zoomer and a slow-mo cam. And I mean, Marco is fucking ripping. Spur, trail bike, downhill bike, talks about hunting. It's a good video which shows some personality, hard to do, isn't very common, and there's sick riding, good songs. Kind of just checked all the boxes for me. And Marco's a good friend, but he is doing cool stuff, and he's kind of struggling with some health stuff right now, and he's really helped me out with some accommodation in Europe. So go do me a favor, check out this vid, hype it up. It definitely deserves some more views than it has right now.
That was pretty scattered, but I think that's about it. Stay tuned for just more videos. I'm on the grind out here, and thanks for everyone that's watching and supporting. So that's about it. I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.